I feel like we spend a lot of time avoiding things from happening. We try to avoid things that can go wrong, and that creates a lot of the problems that we have in our life today. We spend a lot of time in our heads thinking about where we could be or what we should have. But when we look at all the paths that we can take, we find reasons not to do it. We focus too much of our time on what can go wrong in the choices that we could make. And we end up not making those choices and staying exactly where we are. We go through life on defense, being on guard rather than focusing on our offense, moving forward and achieving our goals. And if we're always on guard, we won't be able to move forward in life. I feel like we spend too much time thinking about why we can't do something, going through scenarios in our mind, thinking about how we might fail, and not realizing that life is not always about winning. It's not about being confident when you win. It's not about being able to move forward when you win. It's about being able to persevere and keep moving forward when you fail. When things don't go the way you want it to. When you make a plan, but something unexpected happens. How you handle that determines if you'll get to the place that you want to go. And understanding that if we want to get anywhere in life, if we want to achieve anything, we have to take risks. We have to try things that we've never tried before. Life is about doing the same thing, but with a different approach. That's the only way to get a different result. It's about looking at your failures and turning them into a lesson, and making adjustments and adapting to the situation, and keep trying different things until you succeed. And a lot of times we hold on to things that we shouldn't hold on to. We hold on to the past, and we hold on to things that aren't working. And a lot of times it's because we put too much time into something. But we can't focus on the fact that we already put that much time into it and continue because of that. It's about making the best decision now, what's best moving forward. It's not about what you've done in the past. Most people are in bad relationships because they focus on how much time they put into that relationship. And they think to themselves, I already spent this many years of my life on this relationship. I might as well keep going, even though things aren't going right, even though things are not going the way I wanted to. And that's a bad way of moving forward in life. You can't think about how much time you've already put into something and hold on to something that's just weighing you down, something that's costing you more time and more of your happiness, when you can focus your time and happiness on something else. It's about if this relationship will make you happy for the rest of your life, now and in the future. Why put more time into something that you're gonna give up in the future? Sometimes you gotta know to cut your losses short. Most people who continue staying in a relationship that they know isn't going to work out, or in a toxic relationship, it eventually leads to a divorce because they don't think ahead. They don't think about if it's really going to work out. They don't think about how much longer they can ignore these problems. And they wait until they get married and then think about divorce. But why push it that far? I feel like sometimes we don't make the best decisions because we don't trust our gut feeling. When we know something isn't right for us, those are the things that we persevere on. Those are the things that we hold on to. And when we know that we're meant to do something else, when we're meant to do the things that will make us achieve our full potential, those are the things that we don't do. I feel like we shouldn't spend too much time holding on to things that are holding us back. We shouldn't spend too much time in our heads thinking about why we can't do something. All you're doing is stopping yourself from reaching your full potential and missing out on opportunities that can get you to where you need to be. We focus too much time on what we've already done rather than doing things that we've been avoiding all our life. Focusing on things that we've already done doesn't do anything for us. We have to focus on the things that we haven't done. What haven't we tried? Because that's why we're stuck. That's why we're lost. We spend all our time thinking about the choices we could have made rather than the choices that we can make now, what we can do now, things that are in our control. We focus too much time on things that are not in our control, become frustrated and angry with the things that we can't control. But life will never be the way that we want it to be in terms of how the world works and what the rules are. But we have to look at what we have, the cards we were dealt, and how to play the best that we can in this game we call life. When we think about why we can't do something, we have to ask ourselves, why? Is it because we can't do it? Or is it because we spend all our time coming up with reasons why we can't do it, rather than just doing it? Rather than just coming up with a plan and implementing it. Think about everything that you wanted, that you have. It's because of how much time and effort you put into it, that you were able to get it or achieve it. Think about all the times you thought you couldn't do something and you were able to do it once you did it. The reason why we procrastinate is because we try to avoid uncomfortable situations or the amount of work that we have to do. And when we have that type of mindset to delay things, to postpone things, we end up postponing our success. What you have to realize is how you do anything is how you do everything. And when we spend all our time training and programming our brains to procrastinate, that's exactly the life that we live. And if we spend all our time getting things done, doing things that we have to do, that needs to be done, we're training our minds to create a habit of getting things done, to be a problem solver, to figure things out, rather than avoiding problems. When you want to achieve anything, there's going to be a problem that you need to solve to get there. There's going to be something difficult about it, and we have to create a habit of wanting to solve things. I feel like most of us spend all our lives trying to avoid difficult situations. We're afraid of hard work, but we're also envious of other people's success, not acknowledging how much work they put in, not acknowledging what they went through to get there. We only look at the success. But only when we think about reaching success do we think about how hard it is to reach success. The things that we have to do to get there. Reasons why we can't do it. Not realizing that successful people also had those reasons not to do something, but they didn't let it stop them. It's about doing things that you need to do to get to where you need to be, regardless of how you feel. Why is it that we focus so much on the excuses and the reasons why we can't do something when we haven't even tried? Why is it that we do uncomfortable things when it's the standard, when everyone else does it, like going to college or working a job that you don't enjoy? Because it's standard, it's something that everyone does. Even though going to college isn't easy, even though working a job that you don't enjoy is uncomfortable, even though college is uncomfortable, but because that's something everyone does, we follow. But we avoid doing the uncomfortable things that will get us to where we need to be, where we want to be. I feel like we spend too much time focusing on being accepted, focusing on doing things that other people want us to do, rather than doing things because we want to do it, because that's what makes us happy. But we focus too much of our time doing things that make other people happy, rather than our own happiness. A lot of times I notice that people don't like a certain style or a certain fashion, and they don't think it looks nice. But when it becomes the trend, they hop on it. They talk about how nice it looks and forget their own thoughts and start operating based upon other people's thoughts. And I think that's just our desire to fit in, but that's also what holds us back. Although we like to fit in, although we do things to fit in, we all like different things, and we all want to achieve different things. And when we're all trying to do the same things, we all end up pursuing a generalized goal. A goal that's the standard of what society wants. We can't focus on what society wants. We can't focus on what everyone else wants. We have to focus on what we want. We have to do things because we want to do it. I feel like a lot of us, we spend too much time doing things that we don't want to do. And that's why we're unhappy. We feel like we're being controlled. We feel like we're a bird in a cage, when all we want is to be free. When all we want is to make every decision the way we want to make it. Not influenced by other people, and not feeling like we're pressured to make certain decisions or pressure to achieve goals that are not our own, but rather achieving goals that we set because we want to achieve it, our own goals, and live the life that we want to live, not the life that society expects from us or what other people expect from us, but what we expect from ourselves. And when we start going through life, making decisions based upon our own mind, not feeling like we're being controlled, not feeling like we have to do something we don't want to do, that's when we have a sense of purpose. When we go through hardships to achieve our goals and do things because we want to do it, that's when we find the meaning to our life. It's like playing a video game you enjoy. But you go through the hardships of practicing for hours every day until you become good and you feel good about it because that's something you want to do. And when we take that same energy and apply it to real life, apply it to something we want to do, and go through the hardships necessary to get to where we want to be, that's when we fulfill our own purpose. I think a lot of times we let other people put us down, but it's not about what others think of you. It's what you think of yourself. It's not about how many people believe in you. You need to believe in yourself because you are your own source of strength. You move forward because of you, not because of anyone else. And we have to take care of ourselves, and we have to build up the strength to endure anything, because life is very difficult. To accomplish anything, it requires you to do it. I think a lot of times we forget that we only have one body, and we have to take care of that body because our body is what gets things done. Your arms and legs is the tool that you need to get things done. You already have everything that you need, but the body cannot operate without the mind. So we also have to take care of ourselves mentally. Our mind is the operator and our body is the machine. I think we focus too much time on what we don't have, on the tools that we don't have, rather than the tools that we do. We can't think about how to win with something that we don't have, something that someone else has. We have to think about how to win with the things that we have and learn to work with what we have. It's about figuring things out. The only reason why humanity has made so much progress is because we worked with what we had. And using what we have, we figured things out. We innovated with what we had. So when you think you lack something, you have everything. You have everything that you need to innovate, to create, to make your dreams into a reality. I think we have to stop trying to avoid things. Stop trying to think about things that can go wrong and think about things that can go right. And even if things go wrong, can you fix it? If it's just annoying to fix, if it's just inconvenient to fix, but you can fix it, why let that stop you? And I feel like a lot of us, we don't put enough effort into getting our life together. And by avoiding our responsibilities, more problems are gonna come. Life gets easier when you make progress. We can't be afraid to try things. We can't be afraid of things going wrong. We can't be afraid to fail. And when we do, we shouldn't give up. But we shouldn't do the same thing. We should try a different approach. The goal doesn't have to change, but the approach needs to change. The method or the strategy needs to change. If a relationship doesn't work out, that doesn't mean to give up on relationships. It just means to look for a new relationship. You can give up on your old relationship, on the relationship that's not working, but you have to keep going until you find the right relationship, the person that's right for you. And I think that mentality can be used in all areas of life, in everything that you do. The goal doesn't have to change. The approach needs to. The way you do things needs to change if it's not working. If you want a different result, you need to try something new. So don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone, because you first need to be uncomfortable to be comfortable.